Hello, everyone. I'm here today just to do a public service announcement. Yesterday I got an email and a phone call, and it was from a producer for Newsmax. She asked if I would do a show this morning on Gabby Petito to talk about what happened with Gabby Petito. What did I think happened? Do a profile and analysis. And I turned her down, and I've done work with her before. And as you can see, I've done many shows in my lifetime. I've done over 3,000 appearances on television during a decade and a half. And I stopped doing those appearances when I felt that television was becoming less and less ethical, where they cared less and less about telling the truth or to discuss things and to inform the public, but was turning into a very bad entertainment factor, especially with homicide. Murder is not entertainment. We can learn things about murder. We can learn about crimes, be educated about crimes. I'm doing my YouTube channel to educate people about how crimes occur, how to analyze the evidence, what the police are doing, what police investigations are involved, what criminal profilers do. I only do one show on one case. I don't do tons and tons of shows. I don't milk it. I don't try to draw it out and get people addicted to a case and thinking they can solve it, especially if it is unsolved. They can solve this case, and now they're going to go out into the community. And some of them have gone into the community to try to solve cases, and they've interfered with police investigations. They've harassed families. And we see this happening with the Petito case. And that's one reason I turned it down. I'm not going to talk about this case because I have nothing at this point to offer except to add more to the entertainment factor. And if you don't think this case is so huge, it's number one on Google News. I mean, not the issues of the United States of America or the world and all the things that we're dealing with, but one missing person who's theoretically has been found dead at this point. But one missing person case is on the top of the news, and YouTube, oh my God, millions and millions and millions of people, because there are millions of views on some of these YouTube channels. Most of them are mass media, so they're like CNN and MSNBC and Fox, and they have like 5 million views already on the Gabby Petito case. And then there were so many of them I couldn't even get to the true crime channels who are eating this up. And my subscribers have asked me, please do the thing on Gabby Petito. And I'm like, why? What are we going to learn at this point? Because I'm going to guess every one of you pretty much knows what happened. They do. I mean, they know what happened. It's been in the news too much, and the basics of it are not like phenomenal. When you have two people who are with each other and they go off into an isolated place and one of them doesn't come back, you kind of know what happened. It's not a big fat mystery. Exactly why it happened, we may never know, and I don't know that we need to know. And this is my whole point, which is why I find all of this so incredibly offensive. These two, Gabby Petito and Brian Laundrie, were two young people who were a couple and at one point seemed to be in love. And something bad happened between them, apparently. It's a tragedy for Gabby's family, and it's a tragedy for Brian's family. It's a tragedy, certainly a tragedy for Gabby, who is probably no longer with us, and for Brian, who may, if he is the one who did something to her, will spend the rest of his life in prison. And both their families are destroyed. When did it become entertainment for us? When did it become that every second of the day we have to hear about this case, that we have to analyze every aspect of it, that we have to watch this girl on video crying and whimpering, and that's going to be part of her, what she leaves behind for her family? That's what the family knows. The whole world has seen. This should have been a police case. The only people that should have seen this video were the police. None of us needed to see this video. Seeing the video didn't help us do anything. It didn't help us do anything. We're not helping solve this case. The police knew what they were looking at, and they were doing their searches, and they were talking to Brian and his family, doing what they should do. We did not need to analyze every detail of this case because we have no reason to. But we're involved. Why are we involved? For entertainment. We're fascinated by it. We're entertained by it. The tragedy of two people and their families is entertainment for us. Murder should not be entertainment. It should not be a reality show. Do you remember? There's only one reason there should have been so much media about a particular case. Do you remember this case? The DC snipers? Oh, the DC snipers were going around shooting people in my community because I lived in the DC area. It was terrifying at the time. The media was all over this. They were warning people because people were hiding behind their cars when they were pumping gas. The gas station owner actually put up shields trying to protect his customers from getting shot. The media, especially the local media, should be all over that. And it should be all over the news because that is a public service. That is a public service because they're trying to save lives. And we were trying to get tips. Now, the police were trying to get tips. Did you see these guys? Did you see anything funny? Do you know who this is who's doing this? They needed to find these people, or at the time they didn't know if it was one person or two, to stop a horrible bunch of a spree. These guys were on a spree, killing and killing and killing. A lot of people died. This is something the media should be all over. However, these two weren't, there's no threat. There is no threat. What's happened has happened, and the police just need to talk with Brian and find out what happened. It's not a big threat to the entire nation. Not everybody in every single state, in every single city needs to see it on their local news, needs to see it on every major news channel, and see it every moment of the day. What's happening now? Have they found anything? No. Have they found a body? This is sad. It's sad. They made a reality show out of a tragedy, and they're milking it for money. And don't you believe it? You people who are watching this stuff, somebody's making money off of you. Every one of the YouTube shows, every view they get makes money. Every one of these mass media outlets makes money. It keeps them in business. It keeps the journalists in front of the camera. It keeps careers afloat. Everybody's getting something out of it, except the two families who are devastated. And they're being used. They're being used and they're being abused. And the picketers they've been protesting at Brian Laundrie's parents' house. Tell us tell us the truth. Tell us the truth with picket signs. They've crossed the line even from a reality show and inserting themselves into the show. And they're interfering with the police investigation. And that is, I wouldn't want these people arrested, but that's what we're doing. The media interferes many times with police investigations. The public is starting to interfere with police investigations. This is unacceptable. It shouldn't be happening. Should not be a reality show. And I find it highly offensive. And I think the mass media needs to stop doing this. They need to stop over-reporting, and they need to stop being vultures in cases where there is no public danger and there is no public need to know this level of detail on a minute-by-minute basis. That's my public service announcement for today. I just find this whole thing really, really sad, and it just needs to be shut down and go away, because murder is not entertainment, and it should not be. Thank you very much.